Hi, this is Lacey Kelly for Cox OC Connection. This is Civic Connection. Today I'm visiting with David Tu, who is the Senior Engineer for the South Region Landfills. Welcome, David.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, so we're here to talk about the Prima de Seca landfill as well as the La Plata Gap closure. Can you tell us first just a little bit about the history of the landfill?
Sure. The Prima de Seca landfill is one of 3 municipal solid waste landfills that's owned and operated by the County of Orange. We're located in the communities of San Juan Capistrano and also San Clemente. We've been there since 1976. Now, in the early years of the Prima landfill, we were pretty much a dump site where folks would just bring in their trash and the trash would be buried. However, we've brought in our scope of services in terms of how waste is being managed. We now have a household hazardous waste collection center for residents to bring in their hazardous waste where it will be properly recycled. We also have a materials recovery facility. It's a partnership with one of our haulers that allows contractors to bring in their waste and it will be recycled. And then we also have a gas plant that basically collects the landfill gas and then convert it into electricity. One of the things that people may not know about the landfill is that we have other things that's going on at the landfill as well. We have large acreages set aside for wildlife protection but we also have regional trails that is open to the public for the recreational use. And then we also have the big news now is the construction of the La Plata Gap closure project,
right,
which is going to be a new highway through the landfill, increase mobility in South Orange County.
Wow. Okay, so when the landfill started in 1976, you said?
Correct.
Did you have any idea that La Plata would be anything but an access road?
Well, you know, what's so interesting is that now we're in the construction phase, but the road itself has always been on the Orange County's master plan of arterial highways for many, many decades.
Okay.
It's just a matter of when that road was going to be put into place. So we are here now to where now the road is being constructed.
Right, right. Okay. You know, you mentioned all the different things going on at Prima de Seca. It sounds like almost like its own little city. You've got a lot going on there. Just before we go on, where can residents find out more about what all goes on there and how they can take advantage of it? Is it on your website? Or?
It is on our website.
Okay. Which is what?
www.oclandfills.com.
Okay.
And then if they want to learn more about the road itself, that's a project that's being headed up by OC Public Works.
Okay.
So there is a website for that as well. Just go into the county website, and I believe it's www.ocpublicworks.com, and they can find that information as well.
Okay. Going back to the La Plata extension, you mentioned OC Waste and Recycling. They have really worked closely with the contractor on this project. Can you tell us how that's going? It's
going very, very well. When the project started, you know, we had partnering sessions with the contractor and also with OC Public Works on how is this project going to be managed. One of the biggest aspects of this project was that we need to maintain the landfill in continuous operation during these construction activities. And so we will work with them as to where their equipment is going to be staged to make sure it didn't conflict with our landfill operations. So we wanted to make sure that the landfill was open during this time.
Okay. And you've started excavation, and that's moving forward. How is that going? What's that look like?
Well, you know, that was the first part of the project, and normally when a road is being built, you don't have to normally deal with excavating trash.
Right.
But for this particular project, because it was going to be situated over a landfill, that was something that we had to deal with. And I don't know if people understand, but it was a large amount of waste that needed to be excavated, about 700,000 cubic yards of trash. And just kind of give that perspective in mind, that's enough trash to probably fill up the Rose Bowl or the Coliseum.
Oh my goodness.
So it's a lot of trash over about 11 acres, and some of the trash was as deep as about 100 feet. But it was done that for the design of the road because we wanted to maintain the structural integrity of the road and also to minimize long-term maintenance of the road. But two of the things that really we had to figure out was, one, we talked about the operations of the landfill while the excavation activity was occurring, but then also, you know, that waste has been sitting there for a very long time, 30 years in fact, and so that waste had to be uncovered and then relocated within another part of our landfill. And so that was a challenge in itself because we do have residents that live around the landfill and they were potentially going to be concerned about the odors that was going to be generated.
Of course. Of course. So, but you did have a place for it.
We did have a place for it.
And that's good news. When I visited the landfill, I think I even heard maybe from you directly that the landfill had anticipated 10 more years of life than originally intended, which is awesome news. How does this impact that? You still got 10 more years past your planned date of closure?
Yeah, currently we have our two disposal areas. We have our current fill area, and that's scheduled to close 2019, but we have quite a bit of capacity left over just because of like reduced tonnages and also because of recycling efforts. And so we're thinking about expanding that date to about 2049. So we're going to be in the process of preparing a new environmental impact report, an addendum to that, to expand that Zone 1 operations. But we have another area as well, which is currently scheduled to open in the next few years, but that's scheduled to close in 2067. Now, we can push that out to beyond 2100.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So we have a lot of capacity left over.
That's impressive, and you probably have a lot of good engineers making sure that can happen.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, what's the timeline of the closure, of the gap closure?
Yeah, we're basically about like halfway through. As you mentioned, we started construction in May of 2014. The plan is to open that gap closure, that's that first segment, by fall of 2016.
Okay.
So, you know, in about a year from now, that road will be open. So certainly the landscape around the Prima landfill is certainly changing. Before we were very isolated. People may not have known that we were there, but certainly they're going to know that we're there now.
Excellent. Any last parting thoughts you'd like the viewers to know about the project?
I think that people should know that the project is going very well. It's definitely ahead of schedule. It's been a great partnership with the contractor and Public Works. It's definitely new for us. It's what I would consider a once-in-a-lifetime type project. And so the fact that we get to have a role in that and it's going to really benefit the public, you know, we're really excited about that. And at the same time, it really gets us to showcase the landfill as well and all the services that we provide.
Well, thank you for visiting with us today. We appreciate your time. Thanks for watching.